Welcome to my YouTube channel where interior design meets short-term rental strategy, where we're gonna travel across the Europe to uncover real stories from the real hosts. I have been managing short-term rentals in Riga for more than 10 years. My company in Riga has 10 listings and we continue to expand. Some of them we have designed fully, some just decorated. And today is our third episode about two locations in Italy, Milan and Florence, and we're gonna speak with our guest Italo about his experience in these cities. Hi Italo.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. And today I would like to ask a few questions about your journey on Airbnb. How did you start to do short-term rental?
Yeah, my personal experience with short-term Airbnb is connected with my private life. That means I had specific reasons to start because I finished my time with as an employee in television when at that time I was working in Rome. And I decided to invest in my first apartment, my first property. I decided to invest in Florence because for me as a freelance video maker, I decided it was a good city because it was in between Rome and Milan. That for me is the market. And then because I like the vibes in Florence, I like that it's an international city, but still human scale city.
So you was not like investigating the numbers or doing some research, it was just based on your private
reasons. And also I know that it was one of the main spots in Italy, most loved around the world. So also for that reason, in the future there could be a good investment, and then it is.
So the Florence was the first one, and then was Milan flat?
Yeah. Even if before in Rome I started to know the platform Airbnb to rent one room in the apartment where I was, and but then my first property was Florence. Yeah.
Florence. And do you feel now the difference between these two cities, like guests and the markets in general?
Yeah. There is a big difference. I think that are two, together with Rome, Venice, let's say these four cities are the main spot for tourism in Italy.
So Rome, Venice, Florence and Milan, yes?
Yeah. Then, of course, many other cities in Italy are loved, like Palermo, Napoli. Mm-hmm. But I would say these four. The difference is that Milan is the business city and Florence is touristic. Mm-hmm. For tourism is more oriented, touristic oriented. So the difference is that people that comes to Florence comes with a different spirit. In Milan, people they comes that they love everything. Like whatever you do for you as host is too easy. You do your best, but you do your best in Milan is not enough. You do your best in Florence is super enough. It's amazing. So what I can do about the difference, I will tell you something that explain. In Florence, my apartment is not renovated. It's a good condition, but not renovated. In Milan, it's renovated. So I have better feedback from Florence than Milan. And for example, in Florence, the kitchen, I keep my old coffee machine that, they are broken, they're old, they're burned. But the comments are just, oh, what a nice collection. If I do this in Milan, I can close my Airbnb listing. So, this is the difference. This explains everything, I think.
Okay, yes, this is very nice explanation. I think very clear. Yeah. And so about the operational challenges, what is the most complicated to operate both cities, let's say, as
Florence, as I said, is easier, but let's talk specifically about my apartments. In Florence, it's more central, so it's easier also for that reason. In Milan is in a very strategic position, but not central. But there is everything that people that stay a few days can love, and indeed the people is pretty happy there. But let's say in Milan there is probably more offer, like more apartments than the balance with the possible guests, the requirements is and the people incoming people is less, let's say, that they offer than in Florence. In Florence, there is at least for the conditions of my two apartments, there's more requests in Florence. Yeah, the main reason, I guess, is because it's more central.
Yeah, could be most central.
Yeah,
location.
because then the other situations are the same. I mean, bureaucracy and rules. Also, actually, rules a little bit change. Yeah.
So the next question is more about this. So what is the most time and energy for you taking to manage these two apartments?
The energy, well, the beginning, the startup of the apartments is
all the time very.
yeah, to decide what is good and then to do some little adjustment to understand.
To equip the apartment with everything you need.
And then after a few feedback, also to understand what is not working properly. The setting is not only about the furniture, but it's also in Italy, especially about all the bureaucracy, all the registration. You need a very long process of registration. And as I was saying, every region has a little different rules. For example, Tuscany, where Florence is, has decided a few different things because Florence indeed is a very peculiar city, small, but so many tourists. So to fight, let's say, the over-tourism, there are different rules than Milan. For example, it's not possible to open new Airbnb in the old town now.
Okay. It's recently, yes?
Yeah, very recent.
Okay.
And this is just one specific rule in Florence.
But this is very common to many European old cities, that they are stopping giving the licenses to the old towns. So this is happening in many cities now. And in Milan is different, yes?
Yeah, in Milan the bureaucracy is heavy as well. Just to mention something, when you have a guest, you have to make a registration at the police of guest registration, and also to remember to send a message to another website that is a touristic platform, because they want to know the flow of people entering, getting out, statistic.
And in Milan, you need to see the person like a present, or it can be like
this is another new thing in Italy, that you cannot do self check-in. So
every person is coming, you need to meet in a person and check the document.
Yeah, for officially for a safety reason, you need to meet. Yeah.
Okay, and how do you manage like this? So in Florence, you have somebody who helps you.
Yeah, my personal organization. I keep it easy because, as I said, I'm a freelance. So when I have to go for check-in to Florence, I go, and since I'm managing all this alone, basically.
So you don't have anybody whom you are paying?
No, because I keep it like this because it's not an apartment that I keep only for renting in Florence. I stay in Milan. In Florence now I'm renting, and I rent, for long term, mid-term, not very short. That means that I go, I have pleasure to go to Florence. I stay 2-3 days in the between one guest and another, and I make cleaning, I do the check-in, so I can manage like this.
And for example, what do you think, the income with the style you are doing, and if you would be like doing only long term, still higher in Florence, or it could be lower?
You mean if it's convenient short term?
Yeah, if you do it like in your style now, you are taking mid-term, a bit longer term, and then you come in between by yourself, or you would rent this flat for a long term in Florence, like standard classical type.
Yeah, it's still possible, but I prefer mid-term.
Because you can stay there.
Yeah, because I like to stay a few days, and then the people coming to Florence usually need for 6 months, 3 months. It's the target. My target is also the people that actually comes
3-6 months. Well,
so in Florence
perfect.
It works perfectly for my needs and for guests' needs. In Milan is a different target and a different situation of the apartment. Little bit more complicated, but still working. Yeah. Then in Milan, the specific thing of Milan is that it's full of events. Every week is something week. Design week.
I know the Salon de Mobile.
It's one of the main events. Then there is Fashion Week. So many.
And what is your, let's say, standard minimum for your guests? How you prepare your flat? What you have in your flats?
The standard, in general, for me is cleaning, is the furniture that is minimal, but indeed not modern. Absolutely has to be modern, but good touch, let's say. And then the important thing for me is communication. I think that is a plus. Yes. Because I know when I travel, I want to have good communication, nice people, polite host.
Helping,
available for the needs, because indeed people pay, and it's fair, and it's good to have to establish good relation as a host and guest, but can be even then become a friendship.
Yes, that's true.
That is actually the origin of Airbnb.
Yeah. And you are doing a bit originally Airbnb idea. You are staying by yourself.
And I was doing even more, because I was renting only one room when I still was
so
staying.
This is like a Airbnb beginning.
Yeah. Then I moved to Milan, but at the beginning was more like original style.
And these kind of things like coffee machine, coffee for the guests, soap, this kind of what you usually put in the flat for the guests? What you usually have?
Let's say beyond the standard things that everyone needs, I leave oil.
Oil, yes.
Oil, salt,
salt, pepper.
A little bit more than everybody does. That I found sometimes in apartments. Sometimes I found.
Do you have coffee as well for
coffee? Yeah. The coffee machine is in one apartment, not in the other. But as I said, in Florence, people love coffee machines, like this old style.
But still, it's good, yes. So basically, you use only one platform, is Airbnb, yes?
Yeah.
Because now they are starting some new, like VRBO.
Also an Italian new platform. Yeah.
Booking you don't use, yes?
No.
And why is the choice only for Airbnb, according to your strategy?
Let's say that I started before Airbnb. I was even using the pre-internet era, not pre-internet, but short renting era. The platform was Craigslist. That is an American platform. But now Airbnb, because it works. It works, and then safe. People knows very well the platform, so it's more official, let's say, and you can check the reviews. So for me, when there's no reason to change, why change?
Yes, it's true.
Especially
also,
for work.
Yeah, and then if it works, yes. So you already replied that you do everything by yourself, but do you use some platforms like for dynamic pricing, something like this to help to?
No, not automatic dynamic price.
You do by yourself.
Yeah, I noticed. I try. I tried and I change.
Mm-hmm.
I notice what
events,
events.
Checking the other prices.
Yeah.
So doing everything by yourself, let's say, not
even
use...
again, because it's easier, because it's not day by day.
Yeah.
I rent.
And you have 2 properties. So
yeah.
What was the biggest cost you didn't expect in general in your Airbnb history?
Cost? No, I guess
was something broken, or you was thinking?
I mean, a few years ago, it was not mandatory to have all these sensors, the alarm for monoxide, gas, fire, whatever. Yeah. So there is extra cost, not big cost.
But it was expensive to install this?
No, not very expensive. But I mean, there is other things to consider.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't have any bad experience? Or
air conditioner. At the beginning I didn't have air conditioner, but indeed, installing it, then it's a plus.
Also for you, you're staying.
For me, yeah. But for the apartment, I'm happy for the apartment.
Yes. So what is the one change you made that improved your reviews, like in a very good way? There was something like this. Air conditioning.
Photos are very important.
Yes.
Photos are very important. Yeah. And then indeed to understand if the interior design was working or could be improved. This, I think, makes the combination of photos and interior design.
Because could be good photos, then people arrive and then it's not according to the photos.
Yeah, but I keep on this good balance, and then this is what is very appreciated. And I think it's a key point if you want to give an advice. Because if photos are nicer than reality, it's not good.
And if photos is worse than reality, is also yours.
It's not good for you, for you as a host.
Yes.
So, but people told me many times, I like the place and it really matched with the photos. Good.
So, you already replied to my next question about how you handle check-in. So you go there, meet the people.
So I don't have automatic opener.
Mm-hmm. So you have some key box as well, or
no. Since I go there.
Yeah. So very safe way.
Yeah, I mean, more technology. I like technology, but
I think in your case it's not necessary.
As far as it works.
Yeah. Do you feel in general that the market is getting harder in Airbnb in short-term rentals in these cities? Do you feel something?
In these cities, but in general, in the world, in Italy, is difficult. It's more difficult because their policy now is changing. Administration of cities are deciding different things that are making things a little bit hard. For example, now in Italy, if you have 3 properties, it's already professional activity. Yeah.
So you will not go beyond.
No, I hope, but it becomes more. I have my job, so it becomes more complex.
Yes.
But yeah.
But this law is in one city or in all Italy. You have like
this about the third apartment is all around Italy.
Oh.
And what I want to stress it the concept that it's okay then become professional, but I think that Airbnb started and it's still now even more as a help for a first job, as a kind of second job, an integration, let's say, of the first job that help people, especially in this time where economical crisis in Italy, salaries are not super good in the latest years. So making things difficult goes a little bit in another direction. But I think that government should consider more that is a welfare for a population.
Yes, I think it's in many cities there are not only in Italy there is similar situation. Did you calculate, let's say, your ROI, and in general, was you thinking about this when you was buying apartment, starting to do Airbnb?
Kind of, as I said, it was for me at the beginning, but I knew that the city where to invest in Italy are Florence, Milan, and few else. No, not much, not many other cities. The ROI is about 5-6%.
5-6% in your case.
Yeah. That is good. I can be even more, but I should do more intensive renting.
But in your case, you don't want, because you want a place also for you for a while. And
so consider in Florence, it's like the ROI is like that. Even if sometimes I go, sometimes it's available apartment for me. I don't rent like intensive. So I am satisfied.
I think it's very good. You can stay there, use the apartment when you need. It's a very good number for you, in your case, yes. And can you say approximately, maybe you was counting after all the costs and taxes, approximately the percentage, if we calculate the amount the guest is paying and amount you get in the end for booking, let's say for one booking, approximately.
The percentage that remains.
Well, for example, the guest is paying €1,000 through Airbnb, and in the end, after you paid everything, what is
bills.
For you? Yeah.
I would say it's what it's left is 55%.
55. It's a bit similar to our results in Riga, let's say, after all the commission, all the taxes, everything.
That I like that in Italy, I don't know in Latvia, but in Italy, Airbnb takes the taxes automatically.
In Latvia, it's not like this. You need to do manually. In both cases, if you are a private, you need to do now manually. It started to be a new law in Latvia recently. Many people got letters from the government. And of course, if you are a company as well, but company was paying everybody because it's a company. But the private person started to pay recently because it's a pretty new thing. But the numbers are similar, yes. Do you plan to invest in some other cities in general?
I would like the moment that I will have the possibility, because indeed it's as a freelance it's important to have a second activity, because working as freelance means up and down. And I consider again the cities where I'm now, Milan and Florence, and also I am checking in Italy other possibility. I like, for example, I really love the seaside, So one city not far from Milan, basically the closest seaside is Genova.
Genoa.
And I like that area, so
This
I think
is
that could
Genoa
be.
is like a seaside for Milan people. They
Yeah.
go, so could be also local
Yeah.
tourism.
Yeah, for sure. It's international so destination for tourism, and for people around Genova and Milan included. It's also a destination, the closest seaside, and also it's to be considered that they're going to build a fast train, so will be less than 1 hour travel. Milan,
it's perfect.
Genova. So I think when this train will be
because
finished,
I remember the traffic.
yeah. No,
from
for
Milan
a car
to
is difficult.
we was traveling once with a car, and we went in this traffic when everybody was, I think it was Sunday, and everybody was going back for the Monday.
It's terrible. Yeah. It's pretty straight.
We was very lucky to find on the road a good place to eat. Otherwise, we would be for many hours.
Better train.
Yes, it's a nice idea. Yes, I hope you will proceed with this very, very fast.
No, because I really love. I come from a place that is on the sea. So.
Yes. People who is born next to the sea wants to be next to the sea. But what do you think in general about Airbnb future globally? We already spoke that in many cities, the restrictions, government are doing some laws. What do you think, your opinion, personal opinion about Airbnb globally? Would it proceed to exist, grow, or there will be some restrictions more? What do you think?
It's difficult to say because there are different opinions, different push, like local protest. But same time, people that is earning from that has to consider. So there are different push. So it's not easy to see what will be the destination of this. In my opinion, will be nice if this will. I understand the logic of having many apartments, and the rule is you are professional, and still to keep possibility for those that are just having it as a second little job, to keep more even easier process, easier bureaucracy.
So still will exist Airbnb.
Yeah, I think that has to
with some new rules, let's say, new rules which will regulate.
Also, because I think that is another offer than hotel.
I agree. Yes, I completely agree with you that hotel is a different. Many people say that Airbnb is taking money from the hotel, but I disagree because it's a different thing. You're traveling very often, as you said. There are these mid-term bookings, like digital nomads who work somewhere. And they will not stay in the hotel.
No, it's too expensive, and you don't have the kitchen.
Yes.
It's not totally, but in many aspects is a different situation, different offer.
And my last question. So, if you had to name 3 key points of successful Airbnb, what it will be? Three.
Yeah, basically what I said before about cleaning, about communication. Let's say cleaning, communication, condition of the apartment. In order, first of all, for me as a user and guest, I think it's the same for everybody. The place has to be clean.
Clean, yeah.
We can add to these 3 points position.
It's true, position, location.
I mean, depends. If you go for a few days, but in general, if you go, especially if you go for short term, and we now talk about short term, the position is a key point. Yeah. Then talking about the condition of the apartment, cleaning, and about the process, communication. So
hospitality,
communication, hospitality, the availability of the host to solve a possible problem. It makes things work better, you know.
Of course. Yes.
If there is not even a bad approach of the host, but you know, not being responsive immediately.
Yes, this is very important because people likes people.
Yeah,
this
makes the experience much better.
Yes, it's true. Even if something is wrong sometimes in the apartment, but if you are helping to solve this problem, very often there are no bad reviews from the guest.
No.
So this.
Yeah, I mean, the host has to be ready to fix, to help. Fix. If it's something not nice in the apartment that you didn't consider, the important thing is that you are ready to fix it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for your answers. And now we got some feedback about the Florence and Milan from a real host in these cities.
Thanks, Julia.